Hi, my name is Allie Slocum, author of Benjamin Blair and the Case of the Missing Noun Hound, and today I will be reading to you Chapter 3 called P.E. While the class lined up to go to the gym, Miss Nungesser, the new second grade teacher, came in and asked to borrow one of Mrs. Dish's books. Mrs. Dish told her she could borrow anything she needed anytime. While standing in line, Ben told Joey about how he put curry powder in the first batch of cookies and had to bring a second batch. Joey laughed, and the boys were both sent to the end of the line for not waiting silently. When the class arrived in the gym for PE, Mrs. Dish reminded them to be on the lookout for nouns while she was gone. After she left, Mr. Moore, the PE teacher, announced that they had earned a game day. Ben jumped up in the air and whooped. A few of the other boys joined him. "Okay, I need 2 quiet volunteers to be our ghost catchers," Mr. Moore explained. Ben threw his arm up and tried to keep the rest of his body as still as possible. His brothers and most of the class also raised their hands. Mr. Moore chose Beck and a girl named Ryan, who everyone called Rai Rai. Rai Rai's older sister, Claire, was best friends with his sister, Jeannie. Beck always got picked for things. Sometimes Ben thought everyone liked him better. The object of the ghost catcher's game is to be the last person caught. When the ghost catcher sees anyone move, that person is out. Beck and Rai Rai took their places as ghost catchers in the center of the gym while the rest of the class scattered and tried to hide. They counted backwards from 10 to 0 and then yelled, "Freeze!" Everyone froze as the pair tried to catch someone moving. Ben's leg started to itch. His hand was close to the spot. He tried to be patient. He also tried not to move, but he couldn't help himself. Ben waited for Rai Rai to turn away and then with a tiny movement scratched the spot. Beck saw him, but didn't call him out. Rai Rai turned and said, "Ben, saw you." Those were the 3 dreaded but familiar words Ben seemed to hear every game. Ben put his head down. He walked to the jail and waited for a jailbreak so he could play again. He spent most of the game in jail. It wasn't much fun if you weren't the ghost catcher. As he sat there, Rai Rai and Beck caught a few other classmates. His brother Barton was one of them. Barton came and sat by Ben. After sitting together watching the game for a few seconds, Barton exclaimed, "Hey Ben, the gym is a place and a thing." Ben smiled. Barton was always thinking about words and books. It didn't surprise him that Barton used his jail time to follow Mrs. Dish's directions. Ben tried to think of one too, but then Mr. Moore blew his whistle for a jailbreak and the boys ran back into the game. The class played several more rounds. Ben got caught every time. He never was picked to be the ghost catcher either. When Mrs. Dish came back to pick up the class, Ben told her what Barton shared while they were in jail. "That's a great example, Ben. You can tell the class when we get back to the room." Ben admitted, "Barton thought of it. But our classroom is a place and a thing, right?" "It absolutely is. I guess you both can share when we get back. That is really honest of you not to take credit for your brother's idea." She smiled her big smile that made Ben feel like he was the smartest kid in the world. Chapter 3, P.E. Why does Ben think his classmates like Beck better than him? Do you think he's right? Why or why not? How could patience help Ben play better at the ghost catcher game?